Hello everyone, welcome back to another episode of r/slash Tales from Tech Support. In today's episode, BLACKHAT SYSADMIN when my paycheck is on the line. Finale. Before we get started, make sure to subscribe so you will never miss a video. So let's get started. BLACKHAT SYSADMIN when my paycheck is on the line. Finale. This tale is the finale of my BLACKHAT SYSADMIN tale. You can read Part 1, Part 2, Part 3, and Part 4 on each of those pages respectively. Kel_Naranek, I'm the company and PAYCHECK guy, specializing in the dark arts. I earn the hat I wear. See my other stories here. Owner, a rather technically skilled guy, though he's terrible with people. We get along, for the most part. CFO, a true expert at violating the DFIU, don't FSCK it up, rule with skin made of Teflon. Government_guy, a master of the Finnish business and government handshake process. He has more connections than a neural network, but feels more like a slime mold the more you deal with him. Vendor_manager, I think he said the word hello in English, that was about it. Competent_coworker, the name says it all. While not working in a technical position, she has an amazing eye for details and sucks up knowledge like a sponge. She also is fluent in more languages than my university C++ teacher had fingers. Most of the external, government, managers and techs I deal with are, for the most part, interchangeable, so I will just number them as they come up if relevant. sh*Twezel, so named by a friend of mine, and accurately. New guy hired by owner to take over the day-to-day business of running the company. Corruption should be his middle name. Nosferatu, a guy I used to work with as a consultant at consultant_co. A welcome surprise to run into him again. 2 days later, the sh*T hits the fan as my wife and I are driving into the office. My phone rings promptly at 9 a.m. while I'm on the motorway, and I'm told that the story about %money and vendor is now out in public. sh*Twezel wants me to come directly to a meeting room where him, government_guy, and others are trying to figure out what to do. As I continue to work, I have my wife find the story online and give me a rough translation of it so I at least have some idea what I am walking into. When I get to the office, I don't even bother dropping my stuff at my room, I go straight to the meeting room. Everyone there has already decided this is an uncontrolled media circus, and they want nothing to do with it. I am told I am welcome to talk to the media, cert, etc., but that I am to keep my employer's name out of it. They see no profit in it. I'm also strongly advised by sh*Twezel to wait for cert and follow their lead, but of course he can't force me to, just hopes I will do the smart thing with this. He also says that as far as the company is concerned, you are welcome to say anything you want about vendor or %money. His only request is that I do not name my employer in anything I say publicly about the vulnerability. I agree. I will see what cert does and not mention my employer by name, and of course cert is my next call. Cert informs me that they have decided to make a public statement and will be publishing it hopefully within an hour. They let me know they will send me a copy of the statement before it goes live so I can review it. An hour later I call back, because I haven't gotten anything, and I'm told agencies 1 and 2 are involved as well, and it'll be a bit longer, but they'll send me the statement before they go to lunch, so I can review it and they can make any revision when they get back from lunch. 2 hours later I get an email with just a link to a live copy of their website. On it is a statement thanking me for my work, but explaining that cert has verified that all customers who were previously affected by these vulnerabilities are no longer at risk and all customers' software has already been updated. Furthermore, all security issues except the plain text communications have been verified to be fixed in current versions of the software. Well, my employer is a customer, and my employer's copy of %money certainly hasn't been updated, so already I can prove that statement is false. I can't prove that the security issues aren't fixed in this latest version yet, but I somewhat doubt it. And where was there mention of the passwords and keys for communications with the banks that may have been compromised that I feel should be changed as a safety precaution? I immediately call cert up, but get no answer. I then email them asking them to call me ASAP, because I see several issues with their publication. At something like 17:30, so 5 hours after their publication, the technical guy from CERT calls me back, clearly in a conference room on speakerphone because of the echo. I ask him who else is there, and he says it is just him. Fine, we can play that game, I don't really care. He insists that he's sorry, he's been swamped and actually just got back to his office himself, and that is why he didn't see my message or return my calls. I inform him I have my publication ready to go, and would like CERT to correct their statements, because I can clearly prove at a minimum that not all customers have fixed versions of the software, and there is the missing advice of changing the passwords and keys the software exposed. He tells me they've discussed the matter and reviewed the software, and there is no more risk to customers, and they do not want to cause a panic by making those statements. He then assures me that all the security holes really are addressed, he has looked into the matter himself, so there is no need to worry, and to please wait to say anything until the next week when the vendor gives me the updated software. Huge mistake number 2. I grudgingly agree to wait until I can see the software for myself. The appointed day next week rolls around, and in addition to the new vendor_manager, a familiar face is there, Nosferatu. He explains that he was recently hired by vendor and is acting CISO there. It's good to see him again, as while I distinctly recall him as being not that technical himself, he had a healthy respect for me and other more technical people at consultant_co, while he was doing more of the management consulting work. We talk a bit about past projects at consultant_co as we get coffee, and I lead him and vendor_manager to my room to do the software updates. I ask vendor_manager if he brought the software, and he explains it is just a download he will get from their website, so I give him a web browser and a terminal on the server for money %. He then goes and downloads the updater/installer directly from vendor's public website, saves it, and runs it. It runs with just a few clicks and he says that is all, and it is done, and we now need to update the client machines. I ask if there is anything else that we need from the server, such as, public keys, and I'm told that was it. We go to one of the finance machines, and there it is also simply running an installer downloaded from the web. We then start up the software and again it loads the company name and information for the login dialog. At the point I tell Nosferatu that I am certain that some of the vulnerabilities still exist, simply because it would be impossible for that data to be on the client machines since we didn't add the data anywhere to the client. Nosferatu agrees with me while frowning and says that he's known me long enough, 5 years professionally, that if I say something is vulnerable, it is vulnerable. I then ask that we next update my machine with Wireshark running, so I can see the traffic for myself, and see what their workaround for the lack of encryption is. It turns out the workaround for lack of encryption is Stunnel, which is a decent program, but not a proper solution for something this important, but they don't set up it by default and haven't got anything native in their application, and it requires significant manual reconfiguration of both clients and servers to make work, so it is only done as additional work when customer requested. I agree with Nosferatu that I will re-review these issues and send him a report once I see what all still applies, but he agrees that clearly many of them still exist. Later that day or the next I send my findings to Nosferatu and vendor_manager, as well as show them to sh*twezel and government_guy. sh*twezel and government_guy are pissed at CERT and agencies, and start their planning of how to handle their side of things, but I make it clear I will contact CERT myself. They insist on being part of the phone call, so we all call CERT and let them know what is found. The person we deal with at CERT says that they were certain all the security issues were fixed and were expecting to hear that from me, and are very surprised that is not the case. I asked them exactly why they thought they were fixed. Well, vendor_manager told us they had fixed the issues and had installed the updates already for all of their customers. I point out that they knew that was not true already the previous week when I told them my employer at minimum was not updated and still vulnerable, to which they say CERT has never retracted any statement we have made, and we absolutely will not be making a retraction based on your word. I point out that CERT should never trust the word of a single party in a vulnerability disclosure situation such as this, and should make sure to only give true information, which they clearly have not done, to which I am told we simply do not have the resources to investigate claims like these, so the best thing for everyone is us repeating the statements based on information from vendors. It is up to them to be honest. sh*twizzle and government_guy apply some pressure. I'm not sure exactly what is said due to language barriers, and then it is agreed that CERT will send a technical expert to my employer to sit with me and review their findings. The tech from CERT comes, and we spend literally an entire day going over the software. One tool that I got working from him that I did not have before was an actual SQL client designed to communicate with this real-time industrial systems database. This made our work much easier. We quickly managed to reproduce all but one of my findings using the database directly. It turns out that the database admin account is no longer a statically named account shared for all installations. Instead, the name is semi-random and based on the company name, which is queried using a new statically named account with a shared password. So effectively they have done a layer of security by obscurity of the admin, but it can still be found with common credentials. In addition, we determine they have added some table-level permission checks, but accounts have the ability to modify their own permissions so that is easily bypassed. Finally, by using snapshots of the old version of the software, we determined that the server-side account lockout flag that used to actually work to prevent logins no longer was working, possibly due to changes in field names between versions, so they've lost one security measure that actually did work. He lets me know that I'll get a call tomorrow to discuss options. The next day CERT calls me, and lets me know that they have now confirmed my findings. Everything I said was true, and clearly all the customers with %money from vendor are still vulnerable. They have given vendor 42 days, as per their policy, to fix the issue, or they will make an announcement about the matter not being resolved, and ask me to withhold my own publication for that same period. Huge mistake number 3. I reluctantly agree. So more time passes, and I push CERT and others for feedback and hear nothing. One day, sh*twizzle calls me in for a meeting. Seems that the vendor situation is more or less stalled, but he's got some good news. He's been doing a lot of work with a foreign government, and there is a client he has been working with that is very interested in repeatable self-contained proof-of-concept code demonstrating exploits for each of the flaws in %money. This client apparently is offering my employer a lot of money, and because of this is now to be my top priority. I am to do nothing else until I have provided the complete code for exploiting %money as a self-contained application with source code to him. I leave that meeting in a rather furious rage, and try to get a hold of owner, no answer, and inform my wife as I head home. The first thing next day I let it be known I will be using all the flex hours I am owed as time off immediately. It is more than enough to get me to my already scheduled vacation, which they can't change, which buys me a few months. I go and talk with a friend about the situation, and start applying for every job I can think of. Later that day, once the office is empty, I return and take home my desktop system with all the exploit code, then pull the drives and lock them in a safe at home. After a week or two of me trying to call owner literally every day, and sending him emails to his work, personal, and all addresses he had at his other company asking him to please meet, or at least talk with me, sh*twizzle contacts me wondering how soon I will be back at work, and makes it clear even though I'm taking time off I am owed in a way that was agreed. He wants me working on the vendor project for his client despite that. I ignore sh*twizzle, as I'm having coffee with a politically connected friend in the industry, when I get a new email. It's a job offer from car company. I make one last attempt to contact owner, who doesn't answer my phone call, and then the subject of the coffee goes from how to handle a hypothetical financial security issue, to getting me a meeting with people and places in politics. I sign the job offer and send it back, a starting date is agreed on, and the next day I show up at my employer and turn in a statement that I'm quitting, effective the soonest date possible with my notice period. As it would be during my vacation I state I will be returning all property I have from employer before that date, etc. 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 sh*twizzle calls me up not an hour after I turn that paper in, and lets me know he is very sad to hear I am leaving but understands if I have a new opportunity want to pursue. No, I just want to get the FSCK away from this sh*tty situation. But there is one thing that we have to take care of. I need you to complete that program we discussed before. No, I reply. I don't think you understand me, I need you to do this. No, I understand you perfectly. The fact, however, is I am under no legal obligation to do what you wish in this matter, and I hang up. From that point on, since I legally am on vacation and allowed to have my work phone off, it stays off. I write up a completely new vulnerability disclosure from scratch and get the summary translated. I also get 3 different meetings arranged, one with a lot of the old school information security professionals I and a friend of mine know, one with some bank information security experts, and one with someone in politics. The first meeting with the InfoSEC professionals, I hand each of them a copy of the story from the media company. Most were already aware of it, a copy of CERT's public statements, and then a rough draft of my vulnerability publication, and ask them to read through all of that and sit and think for a half hour before anyone says anything. After that time is up, the only question that needs to be answered before the swearing starts was, is any of this still exploitable? Yes, all of it is still valid, though the hard-coded admin account is now unique per installation, but can be looked up using a new hard-coded account which is present in all installations. Some revisions of my report are recommended, and it is agreed that the first Tuesday after my employment ends is a reasonable date to publish to focus on harm minimization. This way it isn't part of the Monday morning chaos IT admins have to deal with, and the issue is likely to has as much chance as possible to be dealt with the same week, hopefully avoiding there being a weekend for exploitation. The bank meeting, to put it politely, is a **storm. While it was a smaller meeting than the previous one, I learned why the agencies are likely doing everything they can to keep this under wraps and downplay it. As anyone who has worked with encryption keys and certificates knows, when you use private keys/certificates, you must support not just the ideal case of issue-expires-renew, but you should also support rekeying and revocation. It turns out at least one of the major banks involved had no method to revoke corporate bank authentication certificates, and another could not even tell what certificates may have been issued for a given company/account, as they didn't keep any records of what they signed/issued. The end result is their worst case there would be no way to stop abuse, or to easily separate abuse from legitimate usage, and in some cases, such as the lack of revocation with one bank, either their entire certificate system may have to be replaced for all of their corporate customers, likely resulting in a massive outage during the transition, or the fraud will have to be just accepted. I believe that Guy estimated it would be a 3 to 4 day job to just generate the new certs with their infrastructure, working 24/7. The consensus is that if there starts to be significant abuse of this, the only way to stop it would be a nationwide corporate e-banking shutdown. Finally comes the politics. Armed with the knowledge from the banking experts, and with a few other InfoSec experts, I meet with one of the politicians with the technical background to understand what is going on. This person has actually heard bits and pieces about what was going on from the agencies involved, and is in a position to prepare for calling back the Ediskunta, Finnish equivalent of Congress, from their summer vacations if necessary, so they can vote/approve a nationwide banking shutdown to deal with the situation. Various other issues are discussed, and they do their preparations, and then I do leave with a draft copy of my report. So my last day with my employer comes and goes, and then **Twizzle, and or CFO decides to screw me on my way out, accidentally messing up my taxes on my final paycheck, so that on a paycheck of something around €10,000 I get 20 paid, the rest goes to my taxes, I get it back from the tax authority the next year. The next Tuesday I send out my publication. I've got friends watching from inside and outside the government as the drama starts, and it looks like I will thankfully get away clean, and furthermore, with the publication out making it clear how insecure %money % from vendor is, it would be very hard for agencies 1 and 2 to argue I am the only person who could possibly exploit this. I get a panicked call to my personal phone from %competent_coworker who lets me know that suddenly things have gone very bad at my, now former, employer. It seems that **Twizzle had made promises to both agencies, as well as vendor, that he would control me, and now they were all at the company and very upset that I was no longer under his control, and it sounds like legal actions for breaking some agreements had started. Among the drama that publicly targets me is one of the upper-level people in Agency 1 stating in a public Facebook post that I have actively aided criminals and am a threat to Finnish financial security. He soon finds himself leaving his government position he has been in for years, though lands safely in the private sector. The next week, as I am finally starting to relax, my phone rings with %competent_coworker%s number, only when I answer it isn't her, but sh*Twezel. sh*Twezel, Kel, I'm sorry things went the way they did. I understand you might be having some financial troubles now. I've got a proposal. My client is still interested in that code and project we talked about before. I would be willing to arrange a direct payment for you if you take care of it, including a small advance, if you could complete that work now that you have some time on your hands. Kel, I'm sorry, maybe you didn't understand my English before. I will never be a part of selling exploits. Hopefully, this is clear enough for you, Suksi Vituan.